Welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a while. I'm Rafiq, and this is Married to the Business podcast, where we discuss the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations of entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, today my co-host couldn't be here with us. The queen is busy doing some other things, so I'm gonna hold you down for the day. For my sisters, I'm sorry, but she's taking care of the other half of our business. So, on today's episode, we want to discuss what is your dream life. What does it cost? How do you get there? And what will motivate you and keep you on track to give yourself a deadline to get to that point? A lot of times as young entrepreneurs, we don't talk about what kind of lifestyle do you want to have for you and your family. And that's very important. When you're running a business, or if you're starting a business, you should have some type of end goal or something that will give you the drive to go every single day as hard as possible to get there. And one of the most important things is the lifestyle. For one thing, what kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of car do you want to drive? What schools do you want your children to go to? How many vacations do you want to take a year? I know for me and Queen, we love taking vacations, whether if it's just for 3 days on a weekend, or 3 days Monday through Wednesday, or for a whole month sometimes, and it didn't start like that. But having years of experience in creating businesses, it gave us opportunities to get to that point. But all of those things have a cost. If you don't know the cost, then you won't be able to know how to get your finances in order to be able to afford that cost. Okay, so first and foremost, what is your dream life? That's the question for you. I want all of y'all to write down some of the things that you see, that you envision in your dream life. Okay, that's your homework. By doing that, that's step one. Once you do that, then you need to figure out how much would those things cost. Okay, if you want to drive a Mercedes Benz, figure out what the lease or the payment is going to cost per month. If you want to have a 5-bedroom house, figure out what kind of mortgage and down payment will you need to cover that. If you want to have maids, if you don't want to be cooking, or if you're the type of person like us that we're always working so much, Uber Eats and stuff gets expensive. So sometimes you might want a home cooked meal where you might need a cook or a chef or a maid service or a car service to cover those expenses. This is your dream life. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the life you live now. We're talking about your dream life, and what would these things cost? This is the first step to entrepreneurship. Okay. Working at Walmart or one of these other companies is not going to get you there. Okay. When you work for somebody else, that helps you to secure their dream life. But when you work for yourself, or if you build something for yourself, along with working for somebody else, or not working for somebody else at all, this is how you would be able to afford your dream life. Okay. So for us, what we figured out was that we like to take vacations a lot. So we had to make systems that would allow us to do that. And that's hard in the beginning. Sometimes you got to figure out what kind of systems do you need. Do you need a mailing service? Do you need a customer service platform? Do you have enough employees to cover your business or your services while you're gone? For us, we're in retail. So for us, we need to have enough personnel to handle our customers, to handle our shipping, our receiving, things of that matter. You might be in something like real estate, where you need to have a property manager to be able to handle things while you're gone. If you're in service, like if you provide a service, if you provide coaching, you need to have enough lessons or enough classes recorded so that while you're not there, you can continue to run your business. Okay, that's what will give you some leverage in figuring out costs and expense. So that's step two. Once you do that, then you need to figure out the kind of money that you're making now, and from there, how can you get to the money that you need to make to allot you to be able to have this dream life. So let's talk about it. If your business does, let's say, $1,000 a week, okay, that's $52,000 a year, right? That lets you know that you can only afford a dream life that costs $52,000 a year. All right. So how do you get from there to, let's say, Let's say your dream life costs you $250,000 a year to live, to take care of you, your family, your expenses, run your business, traveling costs, donation. You know, some people love to be charitable. I know that we love giving charity. So to cover all of that, let's say that's $250,000 a year. How do you get from 50,000 to $250,000 a year? Well, you got to learn how to scale your business. This is a lifelong journey, folks. This is not something that can just be taught in 15, 20, or an hour. This is steps to help you go out and begin to research how to scale your business. What changes do you need to do in your business? Look at the market that you in. To be able to afford your dream life, you may need to start looking in different markets. If I'm in a market where I can only make $1,000 a week, is there a market available that I can scale to make $5,000 a week? If you can do that in 1 year, then you've reached your goal. But if you don't do the research, if you don't improve your system, if you don't improve your product, you'll never be able to get there. And as a young entrepreneur, the first thing that you're trying to learn is just how to get good in your business. But once you get seasoned as an entrepreneur and you get some time under your belt, this is the stuff that you want to look at. You know, so I know that you as our viewers, some of you are just starting out. Some of you been in the game for 2-3 years. Some of you might have been in the game for 10 years. You know what I mean? And I know that this is one of the things that a lot of times we don't talk about or we don't discuss because we're just so busy. You know, we're so busy in a hustle and bustle. So that's why we want to take time out today to look at what do you want in life? Like, what do you want? What kind of, you know, school is going to be important for you, for your children? And how much will that school cost? You know, if you have parents, how early do you want them to be able to retire? Or, you know, how much would their health care cost? If you're the type of person like me and Queen, our parents, you know, are everything to us. And we want to know that we can take care of them. We can take care of our kids. You know, God willing, one day we have grandkids, we'll be able to take care of them. So we know that the lifestyle that we want to have and afford, it costs a certain amount of money. And that's why we try to continue to scale our businesses, you know, to get us to that point. Now, we're not there yet, but that's what we strive for. That's why we go so hard. That's why, you know, sometimes we're obsessed with our businesses because of the fact that we know where we want to get. As an example, I remember driving trucks, right? And I looked at the money that I was able to bring, and I was bringing in maybe like, let's just say like $1,500 a week, right? And I looked at how can I make more money in this position with this company? So I went to the supervisor and I asked him, like, look, I need to make more money. It's stuff that I want to do. And he told me flat out, I don't have to work. You know what I mean? This is what I got for you. You could take it or leave it. So at that point, that showed me a turning point in my career. Now, there was other trucking jobs that I could have taken, right? But they may have took my weekends away. And I like having my weekends with my family. I don't like to work on the weekends. I like to be with my family on the weekends. I feel as though no human being should give up more time in a day to a company than they give to themselves. So I don't want to work 14 hours because there's only 24 in a day. If I'm giving you 14 hours of my day, what's left for me? You know what I mean? And if I'm giving you 5-6 days a week, then that gives me 1 day. I'm supposed to see my family for 1 day, and that wasn't good enough for me. So I had to look at what could I do either within my career or to start a different kind of career to be able to afford more or make more or generate more per week to live a certain kind of lifestyle. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. I looked and I said, you know what? I've sacrificed all that I can in this line of work, and I'm still not getting to where I want to be. So I had some decisions to make. Now, I could have went out and bought a truck, you know what I mean? Because as truck drivers know, I could have went out and bought a truck and became an owner-operator, or I could have went over the road and did something like that. But I would have to sacrifice more time for more money. I wanted to sacrifice less time for more money. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's what got me to see that as a worker, you make the minimum. Like, the worker never makes as much as the boss, right? And the worker never makes as much as the owner. So I had to own my money generating system. I had to own my business. And that's what led me and Queen to start to become entrepreneurs. That's what helped me and Queen to leave the corporate world to get into the ownership world. And if you don't own your money generating system, right, or if you don't own your wealth, then somebody could do whatever they want with you. And you can never get to the point where you can afford to live your dream life if somebody else owns the income that you have coming in. Like, it just don't work like that. If somebody else owns the income that you make on a weekly or bi-weekly or a quarterly basis, you can't afford your dream life because you are too busy working for them to afford their dream life. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you need to get to. You need to, first and foremost, figure out what is your dream life. Secondly, you need to figure out how much does it cost. Thirdly, you need to figure out how to get to that cost, how to be able to afford that cost. So let's go over that again, folks. Number one, what is your dream life? Number two, how much does it cost? Number three, how can you afford it? And if you have a business of your own, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to figure out how can your business afford it without you having to be there. That's what's missing. How can your business afford your dream life without you having to do the work? That's the level that you want to get to in your journey through entrepreneurship. You want to get to that point where you can figure out how can your business or how can your investments afford your dream life without you having to be there. So let's go over budgeting, right? Because in order to get yourself financially stable and to scale your business, you have to be able to budget, okay? One of the ways that you can scale your business is by looking at what's making you money and what's not. Some things within businesses are necessary, so you're not going to make a lot of money off of them, but you still need to make some kind of profit. It's even some things within your business that's going to cost you money, but is necessary to make you money, okay? So I'm going to give you an example, right? Me and Queen, we just had an Airbnb on a nice beach, and we wanted early check-in. Now, the host of this Airbnb, we used them like maybe 2-3 times in the last couple of weeks. So this time we went to them and said, hey, listen, for this business trip, we need early check-in. They wanted to charge us, I think it was $50, right? So I said to them, I said, listen, we're doing business with you. You're making money off of us every single week, right? Let's not let $50 for early check-in change us booking with you in the future. Now, as a business, they could have made a decision to say, hey, I'd rather lose the $50 today to pay the cleaners for early check-in than lose this client continually booking with us. They decided not to. They decided to not accept the offer and say, hey, listen, it's $50 for early check-in and that's that. So guess what? It is what it is. We won't be booking with them anymore. So now you lose potential bookings, residual bookings, return bookings over and over again. So where you're making $200 to $400 a week, you'd rather not lose $50 for early check-in for one reservation and lose all of that money coming in for the next couple of weeks than suck it up and say, you know what? I'm making money off of these people every week. I'm going to lose the $50 today. Keep the client happy so that they can continue to book with us. So it's some things within your business that will not make you money, but is necessary to do to help scale your business. So when you look at this example, if that host, right, if that Airbnb host, for everybody that's out there in the Airbnb world, that's one of the things that we see a lot of entrepreneurs doing is getting Airbnbs, which is a good investment. We plan on doing it ourselves. We're just looking for the right market. If you are not willing to lose pennies today for future dollars, how do you expect to scale your business? And if you don't scale your business, how do you expect to one day be able to afford your dream life? You know, so when you're looking at budgeting within your business, you have to look at what's making you money, what's costing you money, and things that you can do to make you more money. All right. I know within our own retail business, we look at any type of way that we can to keep the customers happy. We look at any type of way that we can to keep our customers happy. Some things we might not make too much money off of, but other things we might make a decent portion off of. But all in all, it'll work its way out. If the customer is happy, the customer will continue to grow your business. They won't just keep shopping for themselves. They'll bring people, they'll tell people, they'll give you great reviews, and they'll spread the word. But if you get greedy in your business, you'll never be able to scale your business. And again, if you don't scale your business, or if you don't scale your service or your platform, you will never be able to afford your dream life. You see how everything goes back to the cost of your dream life. That's what it's about. It's about the vacations. It's about the schools you want your kids in, the neighborhood you might want to live in, how much charity you want to give a year. I keep going over these things because this is what's important. You know, no matter how hard you work, when you stop working, it's about you. Even within your work, if you want to, teach, teaching costs. I have a friend that his passion is to teach inner city youth how to channel their frustration. And he does that through fitness, right? But that costs. For him, it might be charitable, but he still has to have the foundation to afford that. You understand what I'm saying? And he is willing to sacrifice other things to put that money into his foundation so that he can continue to do what he loves to do. And that's the dream life for him. That's what he wants. That's what it's about, folks. So you got to start budgeting. You got to start learning how to invest. You have to give yourself a game plan, whether it's a year from now to get to that level or 5 years from now. And don't look at it as though 5 years is a long time, because it's not. You turn around and you may be 3 years in and you already scaled your business to get to halfway or more of what it'll cost you to have that dream life. It doesn't mean that you have to live in an apartment until you get a 5-bedroom mansion. It means that while you're scaling your business, you are continuing to grow yourself and grow your living standards to get to that point. So that's the main thing, folks. I've given you a lot today to do. Everybody, you got some homework. So hopefully, you work on that. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and share this video. And please comment. Tell me what's your dream life. Tell me what's your plans. If you have any questions, if you have any topics that you want me and Queen to go over, definitely tell us. So until next week, from Married to the Business podcast and from Queen, we can't wait for her to get back, but until next week, peace.